A very good morning, students. Hope you all are fine and good. So the chapter that we are going to see today is chapter 9, that is government organization. So what is government organization? The government the introduction of a government organization is public enterprise as a form of business organization gained economic importance in most of the countries of the world in recent years. During the 20th century, various governments settled participating in industrial and commercial activities. So what is government company? It means, see, in order to do welfare for the people, we need organizations, right? For that only, the government started having the government organization. So see, when you just start a company or maybe a private company or any company, that will be only for a profit reason, okay? But for the welfare of the economy or for the welfare of the people, so that is why the involvement of government started entering. So that is what it is called as the government company. See, during the 20th century, various governments started participating in industrial and commercial activities. Previously, the role of government was limited only to the maintenance of law and order, isn't it? It's very clear. So before this, the government was only taking care of the law and order and all. But now government started involving even into the companies also. Industrial revolution helped all around the growth of the industries, and private entrepreneurs worked only for the profit motive, and the exploitations of the consumers and the workers by private entrepreneurs was very common. The development of industries was left to the judgment of private enterprises. Therefore, government intervention became necessary to safeguard the interest of the public, even in the developed countries like US and UK. So they just what did the government do actually initially? Like they were only taking care of the rules and regulations and all, but they were not interested in business and all. But what happened was slowly these private people, they started exploiting. Exploiting means they started cheating the people. Okay, so they were just acting, and they were just selling the product for not for reasonable cost, and that was the one reason which made the government to even interfere into the business of companies. Okay, so here what happens, see, in order to do development, and they started to save the protect of the interest of the public people, and for that reason the government started to involve. So here the government thus can own and control industry and business in two ways. Actually they were doing this in two different forms. One is by starting a new unit, okay, by establishing a new company they started to involve, and the next one is by taking over an existing industrial or commercial unit owned by the private persons. So what they were doing, initially they were starting a new unit, and then the next one they were just taking over an existing industries and even the commercial unit and all, which was actually in the hands of the private. They thought that they were not doing a justifiable job for that particular business, and so what happened was slowly it became government. Okay, from the private they have started to move it to the government. See the next, the meaning and features of departmental undertaking. What is departmental undertaking and features of departmental undertaking? What is department? See, in the name itself you have what is departmental undertaking, isn't it? So it's very simple. Here let's go on with the topic. I'll explain you with the concept. Okay, see, department forms of organization of managing state enterprises is the oldest form of organization. One of the oldest business, if you have seen in your textbook for the fill up, you would have got it. One of the oldest form of organization was sole trading concern, but here you see the difference. Department form of organization of managing state enterprises. When you just manage a state enterprise, one of the oldest form is the departmental undertaking only. Okay, so in those days no distinction was made between the routine functions of the government and that of the public enterprises. Therefore, most of the early state owned enterprises were the best examples of the departmental form of organization. Under departmental form of organization, a public enterprise is run as a separate full-fledged ministry or as a major subdivision of a department of the government. What is public company? Public company is actually the money, everything is funded by the government only. Okay, but here what happens, they have a separate they have a separate ministry for it, and they actually run according to the ministry. So that is what is a public that is called as a public company, that is called as a public enterprises. Okay, so it will just run under the, we can best example what we can say is the railway. So we have a railway minister, isn't it? So for that it is runs under the railway. So that is a ministry, so that is a public enterprises. Okay, but what is department undertaking? See, for example, the Indian Railways are managed by the Ministry of Railways. Post and Telegraph Services are run as a department under a Ministry of Communication. The Delhi Milk Scheme, All India Radio, Doordarshan are other examples of departmental undertaking. What is departmental undertaking here? See, one minister is going to manage, and under that ministry the control is going to go under, and the ministry is responsible for everything. So he is under him only everything is going to run. Okay. So for example, best example that I can say is the railway ministry. So here whatever the rules that they follow or whatever the schemes which are introduced, that everything is framed and it is being done by the railway ministry only, isn't it? So that is the departmental undertaking only. As a department they will just run. Okay, see, features of departmental undertaking. What is the feature? The first one, so ultimate responsibility. Of course they have the ultimate responsibility for the management of a departmental undertaking lies with the minister concerned and who is responsible to the parliament or a state legislature for the affairs of the departmental undertaking. The minister in turn delegates his authority to downwards to various other management levels in the departmental undertaking. What does he do? So the ultimate responsibility of the departmental undertaking is, the ultimate responsibility, the first one will be for the management of the departmental undertaking. Okay, he is actually it lies in the ministers only. Okay, and then who is responsible? The parliament is responsible for everything. Actually this minister goes to the parliament, he will just tell what and all he needs and how he needs to make the scheme and everything, and based on that only this department will be created. Okay, so everything is actually liable, the liability of this department will be in the hands of the ministry only. Okay, so that is what department undertaking. The next one that we have is a governmental financing. What is government financing? The department undertaking is financed through annual budget appropriations by the parliament or the state legislature. The revenue of the undertakings are paid into the government's treasury. So what do they do? Actually these government financing, what do they do is the financing of this particular kind of company, actually it happens in the parliament only, because see, there is a ministry and he is going to take everything to the parliament. Okay, so here what happens is when the ministry is going to take it to the parliament, like how much budget is required for that, how much money is required for the future scheme and everything, that will be discussed and that will be given by the government. Okay, so like that only they will get the money and all. So that is done by the state legislature and it is from the parliament. Okay, see, the revenue of the undertakings are paid into the government treasury. So whatever the money, see, of course when you get the money from the government, the profit whichever you get it from that particular company, that will go to the government treasury only. Okay, so the next one, accounting and audit. Or accounting and audit means what? The department undertaking is subject to the normal budgeting, accounting and audit procedures which are applicable to all the government departments. So you in department undertaking, what do we have? It is for the normal budgeting, like normal budgeting, accounting, audit procedures. So all this actually will happen in only with the government departments. Okay, so others are not going to handle all this. It is only in the hands of the government department. See, the day in and day out and all, everything will be in the private. But when you just see for the whole auditing, accounting by the end of the month or by the end of the year, that auditing everything will be done by the government only. Okay, so managed by civil servants. What is civil servants? Civil servants are nothing but the government servants. So they are actually managed by the civil servants. The department's undertaking is managed by the civil servants who are subject to same service conditions as applicable to civil servants of the government. So they are actually, it is actually managed by the people who have this the condition. So it is done in the hands of the government. So they are managed by the civil servants. Sovereign immunity, it means what? A department undertaking cannot be sued anybody without the consent of the government. So without the government interference, you can't get sued. Sued means getting a complaint in the court. So that cannot be done by the sovereign. It means it cannot be sued by others. So okay, the next one, the advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, the first one that you have is easy formation. It can be it is easy to actually set up a department undertaking. Okay, so it is actually created by administrative decisions in the government, and they don't have any legal formalities to form this department undertaking. So the next point is direct and control of parliament or state legislature. See, the department taking is actually responsible to the parliament, or it is even responsible for the state legislature also. Okay, because it is actually all the rules are being set out by the parliament only. So it directly comes under parliament and state legislature. Okay, secrecy maintained. What does secrecy maintained? It means the strategic industries like defense and atomic power cannot be better managed other than the government departments. So anything which will happen with the atomic power, when you just see with the chemicals and all, like a bomb or any nuclear power and all, what happens is it cannot be in the hands of the private, right? So in that case only the government can interfere. So when you do this mining and all, you need the blasting tools and all, isn't it, the weapons and all. So for that reason the government only will do all this. They will only produce all that kind of blasting materials and all. So that is actually done in the hands of the public. Okay, see that secrecy is also actually maintained between them. So what chemicals should be mixed and what is the proportion, all that will be very secretly maintained here, because it is very harmful, isn't it? So see the next one, lesser burden of tax on public. So you don't have much burden on the public. They do not pay much tax for them in a department undertaking. That is one of the big benefits. See, earning of the department undertakings are entirely paid into the government treasury, resulting in lesser tax burden on the public. So public don't have that much of tax. What is that actually? When you buy any product, say when you buy a pencil or a pen or a biscuit packet or whatever it is, you need to pay tax. Do you know that? Now you have the GST, isn't it? So that was actually introduced by our Honorable Prime Minister. So the GST is nothing but you will be goods and service tax. So now you are paying the goods and service tax, isn't it? So okay, so that is actually done. And here if you see in the a public undertaking, under this department undertaking, you don't have that much of the taxes now, because all the money, whichever the profit, is going to go in the hands of the government only. It's going to go directly to the government treasury. See the next one, instrument of social change. What is the instrument of social change? Government can promote the economic and social justice through department undertaking. So what they can do, the government can actually promote, what they can promote, economic and social justice. So whatever the economical thing or whatever the justification is there, that is actually done by the government. Okay, and department undertakings can be used by the government as an instrument of social change. So whatever the department undertaking, it is used by the government, and instrument of social change. It means anything that will make changes to the the government, that is actually done through the department undertaking only. So what happens is they are trying to make the development of the economical change. For that reason they launch it. Okay, lesser risk of misuse of public money. So here the money or the public money is not getting misused here. See, as department undertaking is subject to budgeting, accounting and audit procedures of the government, the risk of misuse of public money is relatively less. So they are not going to use much of fraudulent is not going to get involved here. Guided by the rules and regulations of the ministry. Of course, the central government will plan and everything, the state government will plan everything, because the money is funded from them, and it will get guided with the many rules and regulations. So you need to follow the rules and regulations completely. Disadvantages of the departmental undertaking. What is the disadvantage? The first one, red tapeism. What is red tapeism? There is too much of procedures which results in delay. Commercial organizations cannot afford delay in taking decisions. So when you are doing anything, when you take any decision, what happens? It takes a very long time. The reason is so many procedures are there, so it will take a long time to do anything. So because of this, it is and when you just say in the commercial will, you can't take much time. If you're going to take much time, the other business person will enter into that, and maybe your profit will get reduced, or your business may even go for in the hands of other person, isn't it? So that is red tapeism. Okay, it will make too much of time is there. And incidence of additional taxation. So losses incurred by departmental enterprises are met out of the treasury, and this very often necessitates additional taxation, the burden of which falls on the common man. So here what happens is, in case if there is any loss, okay, that loss will actually managed in the form of a tax and will be put onto the investors. So the others have to bear the loss and all. So taxes will be taken from the shares and it will be a burden for them. So such case will happen in this. Lack of competition. What is lack of competition? You don't have any competition here because government is going to get involved completely. See, the civil servants are given control of these undertaking and who may not have business outlook or commercial experience. So they run the undertaking in their own fashion without considering the sovereignty of the consumers. So they won't worry about the interest of the consumers and all. So like how they wanted to continue, they will just continue the company, the business. So that is a lack of competition. Casual approach to the work. So they don't do it in an official way or in a commercial way. So they just do it in their way, like how they wish to continue the business. Okay. See, as officers of the department undertaking are subject to frequent transfers, they develop a sense of casual approach to work. As a result, the operational efficiency of the undertaking suffers a lot. Because of this, what happens? It actually makes them to suffer a lot, and they're not taking in a very casual way they used to handle things, and which is very difficult when you see in the terms of business. Next one, government interference. There is an excessive government interference and control in department organization. Of course, there is a more amount of government is going to get involved into this. These undertakings are not given freedom to decide their own policies, so they are not going to give more freedom and even to decide their own policies also. Centralized control leads to delay in action. So centralized control also will even it leads to delay in their action and all. So red tapeism, bureaucracy have become the limiting feature of these organizations. So red tapeism and bureaucracy is one of the thing which is one of the limiting feature. It is a limiting feature in these kind of organizations. See the next one, lack of professional management and fear of criticism. It means you do not have a professional people for doing their job. So since they are government servants, so as they wish and when they wish they will do their job, and they don't have any fear on the drawbacks and all. So the profit also will go very less because of this attitude. See, the department undertaking is managed by the civil servants who do not possess professional management skill. Moreover, these managers could not afford to the innovative because of a fear of criticism by the ministers or the parliament. Okay, that is the main reason. Financial dependence. Our department undertaking is economically and financially dependent on the government budgetary allocation. As such, it cannot have its own independent long-range investment decisions, which may bring enormous prosperity to the undertaking. So they will not invest more and all. See, when you say a normal company, what do they do is, in order to protect their funds, they will invest into any small funds in future, and from that also they will take some returns. But here it is not possible. The reason is, each and every small financing, it should be done by the parliament only, and because of they will be waiting for the government budgetary allocation only. For that reason, they cannot take any decision, investment decision and all. Okay, that is the financial dependence. So the next topic that we have is a public cooperation. What is public cooperation, meaning and the features of public cooperation? Okay. So public cooperation, what is the meaning of public cooperation? Public cooperation is that form of public enterprise which is created as an autonomous unit by a special act of a parliament or a state legislature. So when you want to start a public cooperation, what you must do is, you will have a separate act in the parliament. Okay. Example, I can say best example is LIC. They will have some rules and regulation for their own, and they will just start it. Okay, that is public cooperation. The act will be actually, they will just submit in the parliament. So if it is good and if everyone is going to accept for it, then that will become like then they will form the rules and all, and then they will just start the company. Okay. See, since a public corporation is created by a statute, it is known as a statutory corporation. Statute means rules, okay? Statute, the meaning is rules. So, since it actually has many rules and regulation, it is known as a statutory corporation. The statute defines the objectives, powers and functions of the public corporation. Actually, what is the rules? Rules are defined as the objectives. It is defined as objectives. It even gives us the powers and even it the functions of the public corporation. It acts as the functions of the public corporation. Life Insurance Corporation of India, the Indian Airline, the Air India International, Oil and Natural Gas Commission, etc. are some of the example of public corporation in India. So, I think with the name you are able to identify, isn't it? The Oil and Natural Gas Commission. These all are formed by a separate rule in the parliament, and that is why it is done for the welfare of the people, and that is why it is called the statutory company. See, you have the few name of the companies, department of taking you have, and the logo, headquarters, everything is given here. Okay, features of public corporation. Special statute. Statute means special rule. Okay, see, a public corporation is created by a special act of the parliament or the state legislature. The act defines its powers, objectives, functions and relations with the ministry and the parliament. So, public corporation is actually it is created by a special act which is passed by the parliament. Okay, so it has its own kind of powers, it has its own kind of rules, it has its own kind of functions. Functions mean like how it will run. Okay, so all that is actually mentioned in the public corporation. So that is what the special statute. Next one, separate legal entity. A public corporation is a separate legal entity with a perpetual succession and common seal. It has an existence dependent of the government, and it can own properly, it can make the contracts and files use and in its own name. What is this? So this is actually, you would have already, I would have taught you in the joint stock company, the features of joint stock company. I taught you about the common seal. We even saw about the perpetual succession and all, isn't it? So if any one shareholder or if any person who has invested not feeling well, or if he is personally inability or because of lunacy or anything, he is not able to continue the business will not go for an end. That is called as perpetual succession, isn't it? Common seal means every company will have a separate seal, so that is called as the common seal. Okay, so that it has its own kind of legal entity, means it has its own name and it has its own identity for everything. That is what a separate legal entity. It has its own kind of to follow the rules and regulation. It has its own kind of way. Okay, so it has a legal entity for that. Okay, that is what. See, the capital provided by the government. What is the capital provided? How the capital is provided by the government here? The capital of the public corporation is provided by the government or by the agencies controlled by the government. However, many public corporations have also begun to raise money from the capital market. So what do? They are actually not public, they are not government and all, they are not public companies and all, they are not owned by the government. But here what happens is they are invested by the government, but the money comes from government only. But the people who are working in the public corporation does not mean that they should be a government servant. Okay, that is what. See, the capital of a public corporation is provided by the government only, or even by the agencies also, and even it is controlled by the government. But however, many public corporations have also begun to raise money from the capital market. They even raise money from the capital market. Okay, see the next one. Financial autonomy. What is financial autonomy? A public corporation enjoys financial autonomy. It prepares its own budget and has authority to retain and utilize its earnings for its business. What is financial autonomy? It means every public corporation, it enjoys its own kind of taking financial decisions. Okay, and even it prepares a own budget, and even it has the authority to maintain and even to utilize its earning for its business. In future, if they want to have some ROI means return on investment, even they can just invest for a long term, any long term, and they can invest and even they can get that benefit out of it. So they have the right to take the decision on investment. That can be done here. Okay, the next one. Management by board of directors. It means the director, it is managed actually by the board of directors only. Its management is vested in the board of directors appointed or nominated by the government, but there is no government interference in the day-to-day working of the company, isn't it? So corporation, it means simple it is. The money comes from the government, okay, the people, the heads are from the government, but the day in and day out activity is not regulated by the government here, okay. That is what. See, the own staff, it has its own kind of staff. The public corporation has its own staff whose appointment, remuneration and service conditions are decided by the corporation itself. So it has its own kind of staff, and where they are appointed they get their salary also, and even the service conditions are decided even by the corporation itself, okay. Service motive. What is service motive? The main objective of a public corporation is service motive. So the main objective is what? If they wanted to run for a service, okay. Though it is expected to the self-supporting and earn reasonable profit, though even it has its own, it is able to support on its own, and even it is able to earn a reasonable profit also, okay. Public accountability means its accounts are audited by the Controller and Auditor General of India. So it is actually controlled, and it is even managed by the Auditor General of India. Annual report and audited accounts of public operations are presented to the Parliament or a state legislature, which is entitled to discuss these. So it is actually the annual reports and auditing and all of the public companies. Actually, what do? They are presented in the Parliament or in the state legislature. So these are to be discussed in future, okay. That is what they have to discuss, everything about all this in the Parliament about all this, because the money comes from the government, isn't it? So everything should be discussed over there, okay. So students, I think still here it will be very clear. So if you have any doubts, you can just come back to me. You can write your doubts and come back to me for the live session, okay. I'll be very happy to answer your doubts. So please prepare well for your exam, okay. Take care and be safe. Thank you, students.